Congressman Dennis Kucinich on the line with us. Kucinich.house.gov is his official website. And Congressman, welcome back to the program.
Tom, it's good to be with you, as always. Thank you.
It is great to have you with us. Two things that I'd like to talk to you about, actually three, and let me lay them out. We've got about 10 minutes here. You can decide how you want to organize them. Number one, the LIBOR scandal. I'd like your take on that. I know you're really well informed on this stuff. Number two, the Davis-Besse nuke plant. You have apparently been involved in finding out what's going on with this. I have a note from the folks from Beyond Nuclear, Paul Gunter, that you had been working with them on these pinhole leaks and all this stuff, and I'm curious your take on that. And then Kucinich Action. You've got this new project that you're doing, this new organization, and I wanted to be sure and I wanted to learn more about it, and I wanted to be sure and inform my listeners and viewers about it. So where do you want to start?
Well, let's start with LIBOR.
Okay.
It's a good place to start because it is the biggest financial scandal that has hit the world. Mm-hmm. And it's important I'm sure by now many of your listeners are aware that the so-called London interbank rate it really involves bankers. Their offered rate involves bankers sitting down and estimating how much they believe they'd have to pay if they were borrowing from each other. And, whatever they're estimating is supposed to give a picture of their financial health.
Right.
Well, it turns out that the rates have essentially been rigged and that they've been manipulated. Barclays manipulated the rates. They've been fined a tremendous amount of money, I think over $400 million, mm-hmm. but they couldn't have done it by themselves. Mm-hmm. And so you now have rates which are the LIBOR, which is a key rate that's the basis for a wide range of consumer products, student loans, car loans, every kind of loan you could think of.
Sure. Mortgages.
Mortgages pegged to this London interbank offered rate, which is manipulated in favor of fraud. And when you get into the weeds on this, you find out that there is a separate LIBOR daily rate for each of 10 currencies at 15 maturities. And you find out that that what we have here is a manipulation of the market that is so broad and so deep, it's mind-boggling.
Well, 15 different currencies, 10 different rates, that would mean, or do I have that backwards? That would mean 150 opportunities, different slices in which, if you knew which way the market was going to go, and you were in one of the highly leveraged businesses like CDOs and credit default swaps and things, you could take bets in the trillions and make billions.
Well, if you have a conspiracy, I mean, it's one of the things that has to be proven.
Right.
Barclays could not have done this by themselves. It is possible mathematically for one bank to be able to jack up a rate through submitting the highest possible estimates of how much they'd pay to borrow from banks, and thereby distort the total of all of the estimates that are submitted.
Right.
But what's happening, though, is that apparently banks, going back to 2007, if not earlier, have been submitting estimates of LIBOR that were aimed at trying to cloak the actual financial health of the banks by implying that they could get a better interest rate because, and if you think you can get a better interest rate, it means your underlying financial health is better.
Right.
So they were lying about their financial health, and they were, Barclays was essentially the people in charge of this were ordered to do that, and the guy at Barclays is now saying, well, the Bank of England basically encouraged him to do it, and the question is whether the British government was involved as well.
Right, the Bank of England being the central bank in the UK, their equivalent of our U.S. Fed, the Federal Reserve.
Right, so the banks are making it appear that they were healthier than they were, and they're lowballing their bid submissions, and now we have a question as to whether the entire arc of international commerce is based on a lie.
Right. Is it a rigged casino? That's amazing. It's absolutely amazing. Tell me about KucinichAction.com, this new project of yours.
Well, I'm going to be leaving Congress January 2nd. Mm-hmm. And in order to continue to help candidates who want integrity in markets, who are for monetary policy reform or for peace, for health care for all, for serious environmental protections, we have put together Kucinich Action to help candidates and to help on issues in order to have a continuing presence in matters affecting our nation and certainly communities within the nation.
So this is like a political action fund, KucinichAction.com, and if people want to support you in the work that you're doing and trying to influence the future course of American politics, kind of the rudder of the ship of state, they can go to KucinichAction.com and participate, I'm guessing.
They can do that, and it would be good if they did. What we're trying to do is to provide an effective counterbalance in the long run to these certain individuals who are able to contribute tens of millions of dollars to one candidate, distorting the process, making of government an auction, ruining any chance for democratic principles to be brought into our Congress by just insisting that it's going to be not a rule of law but a rule of money.
Yeah.
And so if we can get tens of thousands and hundreds of thousands of people to participate, they can provide the balance to the people, one or two individuals who are just throwing in millions trying to buy elections.
That's a great idea, and it seems like a really, really noble cause to be pursuing as you're leaving Congress. KucinichAction.com is the website for that. I'm curious your thoughts, given I know that you've dug into this Davis-Besse nuclear plant pretty aggressively because it's near your district. It's not in Ohio, but it's certainly.
It's actually on the lake in the western part of the state.
Oh, it is. I'm sorry. But if it goes, your district is impacted, and we've seen what's going on in Fukushima. What are your thoughts on nuclear power in this country in general, and if there's any updates on Davis-Besse specifically?
Well, for almost 40 years, I've been involved in the question of what about some of the underlying financial and safety issues involving nuclear power.
Right. And
at Davis-Besse, which is located near Port Clinton, Ohio, we have a plant that years ago had a hole in the head of its reactor that was covered up by the management that presented a real threat, one of the most serious nuclear incidents in the country's history of nuclear power plants, and it was covered up by the management. They were fined, I think, about $25 million for their misdeed, and they created a potential of a safety breach that could have resulted in a release of radioactivity into the environment.
Wow.
We also know that this is the same management company that created the blackout all over the East Coast years ago because they failed to properly maintain lines and trim trees. But the instant case is that there are cracks in their containment building. They're trying to say these cracks have no real significance, but as we got deeper into it, there is a real significance. I'm pushing the NRC on this because if they can't repair these cracks and rebuild the containment building, they have to shut down this reactor, which the management's trying to relicense.
Good on you, sir. Congressman Dennis Kucinich, KucinichAction.com. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Great.